I guess we're going to talk a bit about one of my favorite subjects, and which I always have so much trouble with. It's just plumbing issues and things,
Frank,
and heating and
I
cooling.
was thinking about you today when I was driving in, and it's going to be part of my our town, because I got a call from another friend of ours having the same issue that you're having. So
Which one now? Oh, okay, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it a little bit,
all right.
and I thought it was very interesting.
Okay.
And so if we can find out his problem, maybe we can find out your
Well, mine
plumbing
is.
problem.
All right.
You ready to give away something?
I am. What are you giving away today?
Well, today I think it's a really good thing, something a little different. On July 18th at Bethel Woods, we have Santana playing with Counting Crows. Paul, have you ever seen Santana?
I have not.
How about you, Frank?
I have never.
Amazing. Just an amazing guitar player. And he was one of the original people who played Woodstock.
Yes.
He was back in the original
I've seen
day,
I just
Woodstock.
watched the movie again recently.
Oh, did you really?
Well, I sit in the truck a lot waiting to get unloaded, man. So I.
So you watch it. So we have 2 box seats in the VIP section
Holy smokes.
with VIP lounge passes and a parking pass for Santana, and they're playing with the Counting Crows.
All right, Counting Crows are big too. They have a
they're
big
a fun
following.
band.
They'll be the opening band, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
what's
July
the date?
18th.
All
July
right.
18th.
So that
okay?
comes up in 7 days from now. Next.
Okay.
So that's next week. Whatever today
A
is.
week
Thursday.
from today.
Yeah. A week from
and
today.
I got to tell you, I've seen them both in a fantastic show. A
I
fantastic
saw
show.
Santana at the pier in New York City with the Neville brothers.
You saw them at Woodstock,
No, I didn't.
weren't you? That you said you heard,
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
and they are. Well, Santana's great.
No,
he doesn't sing.
He puts on an incredible.
But he puts
no,
on a great
doesn't
show.
sing.
But he's got people that do the
Well,
parts.
the
and
Smooth is a prime example of
yeah,
that.
all the hits were sung by somebody else.
Is there a younger guy that joined his?
well, no,
joined
I think you
Santana?
might be talking about Smoother when he had that one album where everybody sang with
Ron
him.
Thomas.
Okay, yeah.
And Rob
From
Thomas.
Matchbox.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let me tell you, Frank, you know what the funny part is? When I first saw him 10 years ago, I didn't realize he didn't sing. But he's rated one of the top 10 guitar players in the country. He's just amazing.
And the
Who's
music.
number one?
Generally, it's going to be between Jimmy Page and Eddie Van Halen.
Okay, and let's not forget Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton's in the top 10.
All I hear about is this Buckethead guy.
Who?
Buckethead.
Who's that?
Some guy with a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket on his head who plays guitar. And Eric Clapton said the other day, I saw Eric Clapton interviewed, and he said he is pound for pound the greatest living guitar player today. Is this guy Buckethead?
Eddie's not alive. I missed one that I know people are going to start texting in. Also, a lot of people put 1, 2, or 3 is Jimi Hendrix. Okay, so I don't want to miss Jimi Hendrix there.
Who did Jimmy? We were watching a special the other day, Taylor. Who did? Oh, Jimmy said. Jimi Hendrix actually said that. Who's the guy from Chicago that died? Taylor.
Not the drummer who shot himself.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Was he the drummer?
No, he was the singer, bass player.
Yeah.
Tall. And
In any case, Jimmy himself, because they knew each other, they were touring around the same time, said he was the greatest guitar player that he had.
Terry Kath.
Terry Kath, that's
yeah,
Terry
Kath.
yeah, Terry Kath.
Took me a minute.
Yeah,
I had
thank
to think
you.
it through.
And if you really
Was the best, he says, he's ever.
He taught me a very
heard.
valuable lesson. You never play Russian roulette with a semi-automatic weapon.
when you're drunk.
When you're drunk.
When you're drunk. Just like the guy who was drunk the other day, the Family Guy, and put the, did you read that in the paper?
No.
He's a patriot. He was 41 years old, had a top hat on and dressed like.
Yes.
Yes. And he was drunk, and every year he does a big firework things for the thing. On his top hat, he put the fireworks on his top hat. Instantly killed him.
Yes, he's left the group.
He
He's
has
left
left
the group.
Yes.
He won't be doing that again next year.
Yeah, same thing with playing Russian roulette with a
Semi-automatic
a semi-automatic weapon.
Another great guitar player that was kind of
let me
unnoticed.
just mention one thing: the Deer Hunter.
Ugh, that was a horrible. That's horrible.
That was one
I
of the
don't remember that
hardest
movie.
scenes to watch.
Ever.
The Deer Hunter, ever,
Ever.
and one of the best movies ever.
Great movie.
Great movie.
I got to see that. I think I might have seen it once.
It's a
I don't
horrible
remember.
movie, but you have to watch
You
it.
haven't seen it?
You
No,
have
probably.
to.
I might have.
You
I
have
don't
to
know.
know what they went through.
that and Apocalypse Now are my 2 favorite Vietnam War
Apocalypse Now
movies.
is so.
the-
I've seen it too.
So
It's
the
so
man-
drawn out.
The man who wrote The Deer Hunter and directed it, ex-boyfriend.
Is it really?
Yeah, I actually helped him with that scene in Pittsburgh for the Russian wedding. It's a really interesting thing. Yeah, Mike Cimino.
Polish Hill
He
in
started
Pittsburgh,
in
right?
commercials with me. He used to direct commercials when I was working as a producer then. So
Very
that's how
nice.
I met him.
So who's sitting in a luxury box over at Bethel?
We don't know. We're gonna
Oh,
have
okay.
to.
We're
We
gonna
got to
find
give.
out.
We got to give. Like normally in my art town, it doesn't. We have to get to it. Right?
So what is a box in Bethel? What is that?
So they have a certain amount of tickets that have a box, kind of like a box at a baseball game. There's 4 seats. They're padded. You're within the 20th row. You get service. You push the button. People come over and serve you.
You pay for that extra?
Yes, they're wider seats and they're more comfortable seats. And with that, you get early entrance to the event. So when there's a big line, long line, you get in your own members. You get upfront parking. So it's kind of like a box at a basketball game or a baseball game where you see the people up front.
So you have to buy the whole season to be able to take advantage of those seats.
You have to buy the whole season
All
to
right.
take advantage of those seats.
All right, so that is pretty exciting.
So based on Santana playing Woodstock, I'm going to bring up a question that I think I brought up one of my first or second art towns 5 years ago. Okay. All right. So you and Taylor might know the answer, but let's.
We're not going to say it. So.
Okay. Which future rock star could not find a bathroom at Woodstock and left? Okay.
I remember the question. Do not remember the answer. So
This was one of our best questions. Nobody got it. It took a long time. We had to give about 5 hints.
Okay.
All right. And so.
well, we'll just leave it out there at that. No hints yet.
No, and I'm not giving a hint. Why don't you wait a second? I'm giving the phone number. 845-651-1110. Let me just preface this. If you've won in the last 30 days for anything on WTBQ, you're not eligible. You can only win once every 30 days.
And I'm going to read the question again. What future rock star couldn't find a bathroom at Woodstock? So he, which is a clue, left the concert. Okay.
Interesting.
And it sounds like the phone's not ringing yet. This is a very hard one to Google. Okay. So I think we're going to be a little bit. So, while
we're waiting for that, yeah.
While we're waiting for that, let's get into the art town. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Talking about bathrooms and this a little bit, and through the American Cancer Society and Kathy Greco from, is it Kathy?
No, it's Christy.
Christy,
Greco.
that's what it is, yep.
I was asking, I couldn't remember, but every year they do a lot of great events, and one of them is the plane pull on October 6th, which, Ryan, you got to join us last year.
I did.
And one of the things that happened last year, the plane was late coming in, so we were all standing around waiting for the plane, and Ryan had to leave before we pulled the plane, and we came in third, and our point was we probably would have came in first with you, right, Ryan?
So.
That's what I felt. So while we were there, one of my workers came up with an idea, and they said, can we do something to take up time of everybody? So it's going to be the first annual Nebrasky toilet bowl races for the American Cancer Society during the event next year. So the amazing event that Christy runs is on October 6th at Stewart Airport. Ryan, we would love for you to be there again this year. And we will be having toilet bowl races. So my men right now are building toilet bowl races on the top of, what do you call the carts that they go into cars with? You slide.
Creepers, yeah.
Yeah, and on top of, almost like a creeper dolly, you could have 2 plungers where you have to do it. And it's going to cost a few bucks to race each other, which that money will go for breast cancer. So I just, like to invite the listening audience to come race some toilet bowls.
Is it going to be a straight line race?
I think so. I think so. Okay. We're having some design issues right now. We don't want people to fall off the toilet.
Right.
You got
to get them bolted down pretty good.
Yeah. But we are definitely, one of my guys came up with, and the American Cancer Society went through their things and they approved it. So it's going to be one of the events there. So we're going to be pulling an airplane and racing toilet bowls.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. So I just wanted to talk about that. And quickly talking about toilet bowls, I got the greatest Facebook post yesterday. On Facebook, I had a customer that I had to look up because I didn't remember the customer. And she says, I was thinking the other day, Paul, when 30 years ago when you came to my house and you pulled a Lego alligator out of my toilet. And it was funny because when somebody messaged you, you just have the normal answer. And the answer was, thank you for contacting us. And we will get back to you. And I'm laughing. I'm like, she's telling me about how she remembers when I was, in my 20s and I pulled a Lego alligator out of there. So there's some really interesting things that we pull out of toilet bowls. And I remembered that day of pulling her son's Lego alligator out of there. So it's pretty interesting.
Do you have to take the whole thing apart to do that or no?
So most of the time when stuff falls down like that, the deal I used to make with customers were if we couldn't get it out, I'd say, I'm going to bring the toilet outside. Okay. And if I can't get it out once it's outside, normally you don't. If I break it and we don't find anything, it's free. If not, because a lot of times you have to break it to get it out.
Yeah.
And that particular one, I don't remember if I had a break or not. But we have some stories of things that we've pulled out of toilet bowls over the years, and that I have. And, you got to have a really good stomach to be a plumber. And
I bet you do.
And
Oh, yeah.
and the bars are the worst. Okay, I can probably fill my underwear drawer with the amount of pairs of underwear we pulled out of toilets and Bud Light bottles. So it's pretty interesting.
You wonder if they fall in there, or kids put them in, or what
Or
it
if
is.
they just got so drunk that they soiled them and just figured.
They'll,
Yeah,
take the whole thing.
well, at bars are a different situation. Okay, the funniest that I like to fish, and we all know that. The funniest thing I had, there was a bar in Monroe years ago. I'm talking 30 years ago. And back then we would use a toilet auger to get what we need out. And I'm pulling this thing out. And next thing you know, something comes out, and I don't get scared. I've been in, and I fall against the thing, and I actually fall. It was like this 2-foot long catfish. So they had a fish tank, and the catfish died, and the maintenance people threw this catfish in the toilet like it was a little goldfish.
Oh,
okay?
my goodness.
And it
That's
clogged
wild.
the toilet. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, there's a lot of wild stuff, but what happens is, and the reason I brought this up is what I tell people, a lot of people in small bathrooms, they don't have a place to put their stuff. So I got to tell you, anything that is like a pen, a rounded cylinder, it could be ladies' makeup, very common. If that falls in the toilet, if it gets stuck sideways,
You're done, yeah.
Matter of time.
you're done. It's a matter of time.
It'll clog everything
so
up.
that is really the biggest thing that we pull out. Anything, pens, makeup, where people doing their makeup. I can't tell you there hasn't been a few cell phones, but anything that way is the one thing that's the hardest to pull out.
We know the ones that are in the house that are always kind of difficult to work with. When you're in a professional business, are they under different standards with their toilets? Or are they the same toilets we buy for the house?
Meaning,
Do they flow better? Knowing that people are going to be using them more and
so
stuff.
that's why a lot of times that flush, when you're hitting a flushometer, is so much stronger than what you're going to have at home. Absolutely.
Is that why they actually set them up?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be used a lot, so
But is it the size of the port in the tank? Is it the pressure
What's
of the
different,
water
yeah.
commercially
so
is stronger?
Some of the things that are different, yes.
Okay.
There's that trapway on the bottom, that S. That S trap is generally a little bigger.
Okay.
And it is the actual force of the flush. Okay. And the biggest problem we have in public restrooms, to be honest with you, before they came out with the electronic flush, which we all hate, right? You sit there and you're waving in front of it
Right.
and stuff. Was when they had the handles in public restrooms, nobody wants to touch them, so people are flushing them with their foot,
Right.
and breaking them.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, yeah.
'Cause
Not
I
the
don't
same
know a
force.
woman who touches any part of a toilet, and not only that, Taylor used to hate that, right? Where women, don't sit on a toilet seat. So
Yeah.
I use a toilet seat cover.
yeah,
Only place I sit on the toilet is at home. Other than that, I have a little package.
and she's got her own bathroom.
Yeah, I have a little package of toilet seat covers I keep in my purse with me all the time.
Is that what that's for?
Yeah,
I was looking for your keys one day and I came across that. I'm like, what did you use this stuff for?
that's what it is.
no, and I agree. I mean, many women's rooms, bathrooms, when we go to work on them, are more disgusting than men's.
I've heard that from more than one person. I've heard that women are pigs when it comes to bathrooms.
Okay,
And
I hope all you women out there are listening. That
No.
was Paul Helmrich.
and Paul Nebrasky, but the Pauls. But I want to tell you why. Because women don't sit on the toilet seat if they don't use a cover. So they pee all over the freaking toilet and all over the floor.
Nice.
That's the reason.
So that the next person isn't
You
going to sit on it
you mean
either.
like men who pee all over the floor?
Well,
and the
that's just because we
Wait,
can't
That's because we
and-
think
and
it's
the
longer
wall,
than it
is.
and the wall.
That's because we can't aim. Okay.
and we're always in a hurry.
And we're always in a hurry, but it's not because we won't sit on a toilet bowl. We're sitting on anything we got to go. And if
Yeah,
we're
it's
sitting, it's a different reason. Okay, it's not number one.
Yes, for sure.
But anyway, I just thought I'll bring that up, and it's interesting because I'm waiting. We're going to ask the question one more time, and again
We haven't had
Yeah,
one
we have
call.
not had one
We had
I
call
the
on
can't
this.
find it either. I tried Googling
Yeah,
and
me
looking
too.
around. It's not an
All right,
easy
so
search.
we had
We're
the
gonna need a
same
clue.
problem 5 years ago with this.
All right,
okay?
so once again, the question is,
Okay, the question is, which future rock star couldn't find a bathroom in Woodstock, so he left the concert? So clue number one, this future rock star this rock star now has sold over 150 million albums.
And so he did not perform at Woodstock?
No, he was young. He actually went to see, when I give you the answer, he actually went to see Santana, and he wanted to see, I think it was The Who.
So he was not a performer at the time?
No, didn't have a career at the time.
Okay, so not
just
somebody
new into music.
All right.
Okay, and wanted to see some of the bands there, but did not stay.
Well, left because they couldn't get to a bathroom.
Well, part of the allure, and Paul, if you just watch a documentary, and there's a big part of that documentary that talks about they didn't realize 400,000 people were coming. They only had 600 porta-johnies. Okay. And within the first couple hours, they were filled to the top. Think about walking in there, and it's whole part of the documentary. And if you think about it, in a normal at 400,000 people, there's a code that how many toilets you have to have. So you need to have 3,000 toilets. So,
wow.
So if you think about it, Yankee Stadium with 50,000 people has 500 toilets. So they had the same amount of toilets for Yankee Stadium, which is 50,000, for 400,000 drunk people.
That's a lot.
Okay.
I know at Pocono Raceway, they have that long set of what they call the long john or whatever it is. There's just like one after another that goes for like the whole length of the front straightaway, about a mile. So,
and don't they, I think you told me about this, don't they have that trough for men where it's just that long trough?
some of them do. I remember, some of them do.
Bethel has one.
Do they?
Yeah, Bethel has that old trough.
There you
Bethel
go,
Raceway.
the trough.
Yeah, and they're illegal in most states now. They're not sanitary or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. And
You
it's
think it'd be
kind of
easier to
weird. So,
clean.
Taylor, you can imagine that. And there's a long trough and a bunch of men just standing up and just peeing in a trough. So what do you
We
you
like
know?
to do that.
What
Yeah,
else
that's
is
right.
new?
Yeah, exactly. What else
Can
is
I
new?
buy one of those for the house is what I want to know. Paul, you going to install one of those?
I will
want a
tell
trough.
you.
No.
I will tell you, I've had 2 customers do it, and when I built my house, I was told no. I have 2 customers that have men's urinals in their house.
Really?
Yes, one in their man room,
Right.
one in their man room because it's all guys, and so they
Right.
put a urinal in the bathroom. And the other gentleman who built a mansion, and he actually had a urinal that was covered and it didn't look like a urinal. And when you walked in, it actually opened up, and it was in his own room, and he had it in his master bedroom, so master bathroom. So
Isn't that great?
What man wouldn't want a urinal in their house?
I'm
right.
good, really. I've never thought about it.
You see it occasionally on house hunters when
Do
they're
you
out there.
really?
Yeah, it pops up, but the people that are buying the house, this has got to go. That's always the first thing they do when they see it, but because most people don't appreciate that.
You know what else you see on the house hunters a lot? And we mentioned Pittsburgh before with Taylor, and Ryan and I were talking about Pittsburgh, is the Pittsburgh toilet. I don't know, I brought that up in one of the art towns. So what a Pittsburgh toilet is, many times in house hunters are real estate agents. You go downstairs and you walk into the basement, and in a wide open basement, there's just a toilet sitting there.
Yes.
Okay, and nobody really knows the reason. So the reason when they research it is 2 reasons they say. Number one, Pittsburgh was a coal mining iron city. It was an iron, with steel workers. So it was for the men. Sometimes there's sink next to it, and no walls, no nothing to wash up and undress and use the bathroom when he came home from work.
Right.
So he
Too
doesn't
dirty,
take that.
yeah.
Okay. The other reason is years ago when plumbing first came out, before modern plumbing, toilets would back up. So that toilet in the basement would back up first before it backed up into the house.
Right.
So nobody knows the reason for those Pittsburgh toilets. And if you watch this old house, everybody says they're going to get rid of it, but most people end up keeping it.
Yeah,
this
it's the novelty of what-
this toilet in the middle of nowhere.
That's where it goes, the first lowest toilet in the house. Right?
Yeah.
Is the one that
And
goes.
it's-
I had
but-
water in the floor the other day.
Yeah, and there's also some in California in the old gold mining district. Gold mining,
Right.
where the gold miner would walk in and wash up in the basement before they went upstairs. But the
All
weird
right.
part is there's no walls. It's just sitting in the middle of in the basement. So I thought that was interesting. Let's give another clue. All right.
These are for tickets to Santana and the Counting Crows a week from
These are
today.
box tickets.
Bethel was not tickets, box tickets.
VIP parking.
VIP parking too.
VIP parking too.
Early
Okay?
admission.
Early admission.
Tickets to, you can go to the museum. Prepaid tickets to the museum. Have you been to the museum up there, the Woodstock
I have not,
Museum,
no,
Paul?
no.
Let me tell you something. Fantastic. One of the best music museums and Woodstock museums up there. Okay, second question. He was born in the Bronx, and he's 70 years old.
Okay.
All right, so Woodstock.
So a local guy.
was-
Well, it makes sense. He was local because he was going to Woodstock.
Right, and Woodstock was in '69, so that would have made him 16 at the time. Actually, he was 70 years old 5 years ago. He just turned 75. I took this from our 5 years ago.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
one.
So he's 75 now.
Now, correct.
All right.
So he would have been around 20
All
during
right.
Woodstock.
Anybody even writing in, texting in for a guess?
No.
Nobody.
Nobody has
It
any
wasn't
ideas.
easy to find. Ryan found it.
How did you find that,
It wasn't
Ryan?
easy to find.
I typed in the
Da,
question.
da, da, yeah.
Yeah.
I did too. I didn't come up with it.
All right, so we're gonna give another one. These next ones start to give it away. Okay, he's from Long Island.
Oh.
Oh, now I know who it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't
Okay.
take much.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
he's-
Now I know who it is.
Okay, he's from Long Island. So Frank, I told you before that I had a good friend of ours, Leo. Leo Katie's called me the other day and says, Paul, I got a question for you. I got air in my plumbing pipes and I don't have pressure.
Okay.
And what do me and you for 5 years been talking about since you met me?
But the air in my pipes and the fact that it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Well, I go back to the house, and even when you're flushing a toilet, it seems like the toilet's going to blow up because you get those air blasts when it's trying to fill up the tank, goes boom, boom.
What's it from?
Well,
We're trying to figure this out.
So Frank's problem is probably a little bit different than Leo's problem. So Frank is on town water,
Right.
which makes it harder to diagnose because it very well could be a leak. Well, first thing you do when you have air in the water, air gets out, it's kind of like a tire, and the tire goes flat.
Right.
Right. The difference with water is when air gets out, the water fills it back up. So where the air is getting out, there's got to be water somewhere. But in Frank's house, there's no leak.
water.
There's no leak. So there's two things at Frank's house. Number one is the leak is outside from your water line from your house to the street. Okay. And the reason it's getting worse, it's your house. What year was your house built, Frank?
78.
78. Okay, so that's old plumbing pipe. They used copper back then, which could pit over the years. And so there could be a slow leak outside in the water. And the reason he's not seeing on his water bill is it's before his water meter, before
Right.
the town's going to charge
So
you.
is there's trees nearby too? Is that the roots of trees affect the copper?
Generally, roots of trees don't affect the copper. They affect the old clay septic
Right,
lines.
the outgoing.
The outgoing.
Yeah.
But generally doesn't. But copper, definitely, depending on your soil type, after a amount of years, it does pit. Okay, or your water type, if you have a little high acidity in the
Now
water.
I'm noticing lower water pressure. That's gone down a bit. I'm going to check the outside spigot to see if that's also a lower one. If that is so, then we know that there's something there.
Correct. The other part, Paul, is Frank has the oldest water heater in the history of anybody I know. How
Yeah.
old is your water heater? 50 years old now.
50 years old, yeah. No, it's not that old. It's I'll get that, Taylor. I'll grab that. Thank you. It's I'd say about 25 or more, 30.
I thought you said it was original. Okay, but so with Frank's water heater, water heaters, after that many years, they have sediment in them. And the sediment actually pops like popcorn, causing air in the system.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so your hot water could cause air,
Okay.
but not a pressure difference.
Okay.
That's why we do have somebody who's got a guess on this. I don't know if it's right or
All
not.
right,
We're going to
what's
find out.
What's your first name? Where are you calling from? Hello?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, what's your first name? Where are you calling from?
I can hardly hear you. My name is Carl. I'm from Wayne, New Jersey, and the answer is Billy Joel.
The answer is absolutely correct.
Are you gonna go see Santana?
No, I can't. I'm in a wheelchair. It's
All
very
right,
tough for
I
me.
know, but you can't.
Do you know anybody that would
You
let you?
know-
All right, no,
You know,
Taylor,
I just
Taylor, go
need
ahead.
to tell people, don't call to answer.
I tell you, no, okay, just give him to like the first caller then. Give him a light.
All right, that's what we will
I just
do.
wanted to answer.
All right, well, we
All right,
appreciate
but
you giving the answer,
yeah,
and we
but
appreciate you
that's a problem.
listening.
Now that's a problem because somebody else who could have won didn't
Nah,
win.
we weren't getting
Yeah,
anybody there.
please,
So
everybody, we've had other people do this. Don't call in to answer because then you take somebody else out of the mix that could have gone the tickets. But all right, next time.
Well,
All right.
I'm sorry I disappointed
Okay.
you. You're a real nice person.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
there you go.
Yeah, I don't really care if you think I'm a nice person. What you did wasn't nice.
So,
because somebody else who would have liked to have
we
gone
are
could have
moving
gone.
kind of bit along
my
right here this morning.
gosh.
In any case,
and by the way, he won a gift certificate to yesterday's, which he went to.
yeah, I know.
So I mean,
all
it's not
L-
right.
Look, Taylor, here's what we'll do then. Let's just take the.
So what I'm going to do right now, since it's our town.
Yes.
All right. These tickets are worth about $800.
$800.
Okay, between the parking pass, between everything. All right,
I'm sure they are.
what you would pay for them, $600 to $800 depending on the show. Okay, so a caller that wants to come in and donate, who wants to call in right now and donate anything over $100 to the Warwick Valley
Humane
Society or Rotary. Okay, I will give those tickets to. All
Very
right.
nice.
So for $100,
845-651-1110.
All right. So
That sounds
donation
good.
to
That's good.
Rotary.
That's
And
good
it's
idea,
tax
Paul.
deductible.
Is.
And it's tax
No,
deductible.
it's not.
It's not?
No.
No, because he's getting something for the money.
Ooh.
Cannot do that.
Okay.
All
Well,
right, well-
whether it's tax deductible now, anybody either calls in now or later.
Do it from your heart.
Okay.
How's that?
Minimum of
845.
$100. That's it for $800 worth of tickets.
And you know what? For that $100 that you donate to Rotary, you can actually buy 2 flags for heroes.
Absolutely.
There you
I
go.
heard the Flags for Heroes is not. It needs some more flags.
It
I don't think
definitely,
that's going to happen this year.
They've only sold
Very
14
Yeah, I don't
flags
think it's,
out of 200, 150,
yeah,
200.
they can't do it. So I would suggest, just either donate it to Rotary directly or donate it to the Warwick Valley Humane Society. They're trying to, the Humane Society, if anybody has any extra buckaroos around, it doesn't have to be a lot of this, they are short a couple of $1,000s to actually soundproof the kennels. Once they do that, there's going to be an amazing difference in that kennel and the animals, the transition for them. When people come in to see the dogs, the one starts barking, it's insane there. Once you put up the soundproofing and she can pipe some, like classical music in there, they become super calm. It makes a huge difference. So,
All right.
I just want to say one other thing. These tickets are non-transferable. I can transfer them once. So if you take the tickets you need to go, you can't put them on stuff.
And they don't
what
have
I was
to,
trying to say to that gentleman who called,
Right.
you can't, and we've said it numerous times, don't just call to answer the
And
question.
you transfer that electronically, right?
Yes, I can
nobody's
transfer
got-
the tickets, but they are not transferable after that.
Okay, so very good.
Okay.
Who wants to go see Santana this coming week from today? It is going to be about $800 worth of tickets. You get a box, you get preferred parking, get to go there early, you get to tour the museum there, everything else. So this is like if you haven't been or if you're a regular customer of Bethel, good reason to go up there and check it out.
845-651-1110.
That's going to be kind of wild.
All
So,
right,
Bill,
so
it
we're
was
gonna-
Billy Joel. I went up there to see it and just left for
Yeah,
that reason.
so here's what he said. He says,
Doesn't surprise
I didn't
me.
do anything back then, he said. I drank a beer, meaning drugs, back then. Obviously, I drank a beer or something the first day I saw Santana. I was dirty, itchy, and covered with poison ivy. I thought, just get me out of here, and I have to use a bathroom. So he left and went back home.
That's wild.
And it was really interesting that.
And he was on the charts within a couple of years.
And he was on the charts with a couple of years.
That's
and,
crazy.
Peace and love in the mud.
Actually, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to his last show at the Garden.
Oh, he's actually going to stop now.
Yeah,
so was
yeah.
this number 101 or?
He did that already. Whatever this is the last show.
Wow.
And it's Eileen's favorite group, so we go twice a year. So she wanted to go to the last one.
I'll tell you, I watched that the one that was on TV. They had the other week, a couple of weeks ago, or a month or so ago, when they had the Billy Joel 100th over there at Madison Square Garden. And I didn't really expect much because Billy Joel's been singing forever. And I was so blown away how good he sounded and how that crowd reacted. It was an amazing concert.
We have a winner. Somebody who wants to donate.
Is somebody interrupting me again?
Yeah, always.
I don't know.
Always. I always interrupt you, just like you do to me. All right. What's your first name? What town are you calling from?
I'm Mike from Warwick.
Mike from Warwick. All right. You're going to donate the $100. Where are you going to donate it to?
100 minimum. But
Well-
100
Well,
minimum.
that's good.
Always for charity, Taylor.
All right. So you don't have to tell me.
So who are you going to donate that to?
Well, I'll give it to the Humane Society.
Thank you.
See,
All
you're-
right. Are you a big Santana fan?
I didn't really know that much about him, that he didn't sing it all. I know the music, but I didn't realize it wasn't him singing until you guys talked about it. I
Yeah.
don't know Coldplay, but I heard they're really good. So
not Coldplay.
No, not Coldplay.
Counting Crows.
Counting Crows.
They
Counting
did.
Crows, I'm sorry.
What was it? They did a couple of hits over the years.
Mike, who are you going to take with you? Mike.
is my wife listening? Hey, is my wife on the?
I don't know. I'm not with your wife.
Good answer. Good. Come
No,
on,
answer.
Taylor.
I
I like that answer,
Yeah, I
Mike.
do too. That was a good
I
one.
might have to give Mike 3 tickets now for his
Yeah.
wife and girlfriend. You know?
We may have to keep him as a regular for the morning show.
Are you from Garfield?
If he's still alive.
Hey, no, if she can get off, she'll go with me. My
Yeah.
wife.
Well,
Mike,
this-
All right, so-
Mike, whoever you want to bring is wonderful. I just want to let you know, once I send the tickets to, they're not transferable through StubHub, but
Yeah.
Your name is going to be on them, so you have to go.
Well,
No
whoever you put
problem.
on the name.
I'm going. I'm not going to sell them.
All right, good. So just do me a favor and email me your name, address, and phone number for the contest rules, and then I'll pass it on to Nebrasky.
And this
And
will
I
be.
could drop the check off at lunchtime for the Humane
Okay,
Society if you'd like.
terrific.
This will
Love
be
it.
I'll
a.
stop by.
This
All
is going to
right.
be a VIP experience
Oh,
there
you're
because.
and you know what, Mike? I'd love you to take pictures and send in a little story so we can kind of talk about it.
Oh, that would be great.
I'm happy to do that, and I don't have to walk. I have to find a seat on the lawn somewhere.
Yeah,
So that'd be great.
And the great thing, Mike, is where these VIP parking tickets are, which to me are the best things about this, you can get there anytime, and it's literally a 10-foot walk into it, and you're the first one out. They let you the first people out. So you don't have to
Wow.
worry that much about the
How does he
traffic.
know where the
You're
VIP
going to
parking
be
is?
spoiled now, Mike.
What we're going to do is,
Yes.
Mike, I will drop that off at the radio station, or I can't electronically give you the parking pass.
Well, why don't we wait till he emails me, and then I'll let him do that.
All
with
right.
you
Okay,
direct. We
because
don't
I
have
got to
to do it on the radio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
this
got to
way-
physically hand you the parking pass.
I gotcha.
Okay, great.
right.
But the
that's
rest
going
of
to
it's
be fun.
electronic.
A week from
I
today.
can come earlier and pick them up if it's easier. I'll bring the check.
Well, no, because
Paul's not here, won't be back with us till later.
He's going to go back to his office. So
okay.
let's work that out, and I'll be.
We'll
in
work it
touch.
out.
Just
All right.
make sure, Mike, that you email me Taylor@WTBQ.com. Name, address, phone number, and what the prizes you won, and then I'll arrange that with Nebrasky Plumbing today.
Sounds good. We got a
All
week
right.
anyway.
All right,
yeah,
you got
yeah.
it.
Plenty
Hey,
of
Mike,
time.
thanks for the
you.
donation, and thanks
Thank
for
you,
calling
Mike.
in.
Really
Thanks.
appreciate
I didn't
it.
know Billy Joel either, so the other guy beat me.
Hey, but you won, and the Warwick Humane Society won. So
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
Yes.
All
All
right.
right.
I
Thanks,
agree.
Mike.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Appreciate
Mike.
thanks, guys. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Pauls and Frank, Taylor.
All right.
Take care.
Thank
Pauls.
you, Mike.
The Pauls.
Take
The
care.
Pauls are here.
Pauls.
Pauls.
Paul Arteta is not here.
Well, we can bring him in and everybody be Paul.
So, Frank, you were
Or
talking
appalled.
about the 100th concert, right? So this is going to be his last one at the Garden.
Yeah.
So we expect it to be a lot of guest stars. We're hoping for like a Paul McCartney coming and such.
I can imagine. I was surprised that who'd you had on the, what's his name was there for the 100th? Yeah, somebody, I forget who it was.
Yeah.
It was just a great, I mean, the guy can
somebody
sing.
showed up.
Remember, I saw him in 1973.
Yeah,
When he was doing
wow.
the college circuit back in the day. And I had just a handful of songs back then.
Talking about that, I texted you this a couple months ago. If you want to watch another documentary, the making of the We Are the World documentary.
I'll
I
bet,
saw
yeah.
that. What,
Saw it.
right,
I saw
and
pieces
Billy,
of it.
yeah,
We
and
didn't
Billy
see that.
Joel's in
I
it,
saw
and
it.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
What do you think of it, Taylor?
It's fabulous.
Fabulous. And you want to see how good Lionel Richie is, who put that all together?
In the same night.
How'd you see that,
Quincy
Taylor?
Jones and
Who'd you see that
Lionel
with?
Richie.
I seen it with myself. honey.
They left the Grammys
Yeah.
and went at like 12
Till like 4 in the
o'clock
morning, yeah, 5 in the
Yeah,
morning.
no, because they
insane.
were all at the same event,
Yeah.
and they knew that was the only way they could get them all together.
Yep.
So they got them all together. You know, listen, they were younger then. They were all on the hit parade.
It's called
and
The Greatest Night of Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was. I didn't get to see
I
the whole
will,
thing.
You got
but
to watch it.
I will
And like
watch it.
guys like
Absolutely.
Bruce Springsteen, he was on tour. He ended his tour like in Europe and flew in just for this to California. It
Wow.
was just an amazing.
It'll
amazing
never
story.
happen again. You don't have
Well,
you don't have a performance like this anymore.
No, you don't have
except
that
the
many.
ones that were there.
And
performers.
you don't have performers who are going to check their ego at the door. Okay. And the best part about it is the most scared person in the whole thing, and I couldn't get him to sing properly, was Bob Dylan, who was everybody's
Well, he
idol
can't
back then.
sing.
But no, he
They've
was just
never gotten him to
nervous.
sing
he was
properly.
nervous about singing in front of all these people, and Lionel Richie and Quincy Jones had to had to coach him because he was nervous.
I can't sing, Bob.
Yeah, that part of that is really amazing.
We Are the
watching the
World.
Bob Dylan part. And okay, so back to your water, back to plumbing.
Okay, so back to plumbing, yes.
Back to plumbing. So, do we have a few more minutes?
Well, I just want to find out because this is a major issue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check the other faucets and make sure the water is restricting inflow, because now not only are we letting air in, there's obviously the blockage. So now I'm not even getting that. I usually get a lot of force because it's city water.
Well, that was the question I used to ask you. What I told Paul when the person answered the phone, you didn't hear it, is that those could be your water heater, which I told you causing air. When water heaters get old and filled with sediment, they pop, almost like popcorn, and it causes air.
But I have it unplugged. I have it turned off.
You have it turned off.
And I get it on the cold water side now,
so
too.
now I think it's a leak outside. Now, Leo's problem, real quick. Leo, and we haven't determined it yet, Leo's on a well. Okay, when you're on a well, it's very common that you have that well line that goes 300 feet down. You can have a leak on that well line anywhere,
right,
and not ever see it. And it's going to put air into the system. So most likely, I think Leo's is as well. But that's an easier problem than what you're having.
My question is, to replace that, do they have to dig up my yard?
Absolutely.
Now, that's the problem, because it's under my driveway.
You're not the only person. Mm-hmm. And here's the other problem. Some municipalities say that's your line. From your house to the road's your line, even though you're not paying for the water for that.
Who put that line in originally?
Generally, it's the builder.
Okay.
But other municipalities say that's our line. So it could be very expensive for you to get this fixed, because you got to get an excavator in there. You got to pull a permit. You might have to shut the road. You got to get a plumber in there.
Oh, we would have to shut the road. Yeah, no doubt about it.
You might have to get a plumber in there. You got to pull up your blacktop. So your issue.
Oh, not blacktop, pavers.
Okay, pavers are easier though.
Are they? Can they be reused?
But who's paying to put them back in?
The same person that's paying to take it back. And what does a thing like this cost,
Can you put
Paul?
this on your homeowners?
I don't know that, Paul. That's a great question. It's going to be thousands. I mean, to get a backhoe in there is minimum of $2,500.
Yeah, it's like $1,800 a day.
Yeah.
But
That's
you
up
wouldn't.
here.
Yeah.
That's
To a
why
guy
I paid
you
about
know.
$2,500,
Yeah.
right? So,
Wow.
so that's not an easy thing. Okay, so
But can it be on the fitting that goes into the main water thing?
in your house?
No,
or-
on the street.
Yeah, it could be anywhere from the main water shutoff in the street to your water meter.
And the final question, is there any way they can know before they take it apart?
Yes, there are people now that can do a leak test on that line. They shut the line off and they go over it and they can sense water. Years ago, there was not. Okay, or you can do a backwards air test. There is a way to know if that's where it's coming from.
Exactly where the leak is. Can they find out where it is?
I don't know that technology because I don't do that technology.
Yeah.
I heard there is. Okay, and there's also guys in Florida, but it's different things, who can actually fix it without digging. Where they and that depends, where they can pull the line through and pull another line through with it, Paul. Okay,
Because the pipe is wide enough, so they use that as kind of
yeah. But the difference is in Florida, right? They put a small, or they bring it through that. In Florida, it's all sand because where you are. Here, they might not, but they could. I've seen people put a smaller line through that,
Right.
and only have to dig up by the road. Okay, so. I don't
Lot to think about, yeah.
I don't do that type of work. Now with Leo, he's on a well, so that's easy to figure out. You can look down the well, see if you hear water.
And
you
I've
can
seen
pull it.
those, because at the house that we were in, at one point in time, we had to pull that thing out. I'm amazed how that pipe or that tube that goes down into the ground, how long that is.
Yes.
well.
It was like 300 feet
Mine's
long.
almost 400 feet.
Yeah.
Mine at the office is 600
Well, you guys,
feet.
Wow.
when we do it ourselves, we stretch that across the lawn 15 times
Yeah,
until we
yeah.
get to the well pump.
Yeah.
He's got a thing on the back of his truck
Correct.
that it
And-
recoils it,
Right,
right?
and I don't do that anymore. I recommend Darryl Quackenbush from Warwick.
Darryl, nobody better than
We
Darryl.
both started our companies
Yeah.
at the same time, and
Nobody's
we're friends,
better
and
than
he's the
Darryl.
best
Love
I've
him.
ever seen.
Love him.
Okay, and he has that machine, and really, generally, it's plastic pipe. In the old days, it was iron pipe, which could rust out, but there's fittings at the top and the bottom of that are brass, and I've seen them break at the top of the well and the bottom of the well.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
So, I'm waiting to hear back from Leo. I told him call Darryl, okay,
All right.
and find out
Where it all goes.
if that situation.
All right, Paul, if people want to get in touch with Nebrasky Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, we didn't even talk about all that other stuff, but not just plumbing, but air conditioning.
Oh
and,
yeah, air conditioning's been a really hard year for my
Oh, I
guys
bet,
and my
yeah.
customers. Got a lot of customers upset with me. When it gets this hot this quick and we're doing installs for people, the install actually adds a day to the install because my men are working in attics at 160 degrees.
Yeah, you can't function at that.
You can function.
You
It
take
becomes
breaks.
dangerous. So if we're putting air conditioning at say somebody's house and we have it scheduled for 2 days, it's now taking my men 3 days.
Yeah.
Now the person after that we have to reschedule, and it keeps going downhill. And I feel bad for that because that's not what we do.
Yeah, but the weather will break eventually. We're already into
the weather will break.
into
So,
July here. So
NebraskyPlumbing.com. Okay, and for questions, anything, we're there for you, and and even questions and help, right? And our call Taylor, she usually gets a hold of Wendy, so we can get that handled.
All right, sounds great. All right, what's next, Taylor?
The news, the weather, whatever else we have on board there, and anything else that comes in with the news.
And who's coming in today?
All three are coming in today.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's going to be
Glenn
pretty
Ellers, who sent me a picture of the swordfish he caught. And then he brought in the swordfish,
Well, you gotta
which
tell us
we
about-
cooked on the barbecue.
Tell us about,
Delish.
also Steve Newhouse and his sharks.
Steve
Shark Week.
Steve tried to call in yesterday. I have a video, and as he called in, the line dropped. So I texted him like, "Why'd the line drop?" And he goes, "I have a 10-foot shark on the line," and he put his camera up, going, "I'm here alone." I'm like, "What are you, Indiana Jones?" And he released him, but that's what he was doing.
Oh, go ahead. I want to tell you a story you don't like.
So, well, we can't. He's got to
Well,
go.
we got a minute. Go ahead.
Emily, my daughter, is in Africa right now. And guess what? She went on a safari.
Yeah.
And tomorrow she's going in a shark tank in Africa. She's going to be swimming with the sharks, the most.
Do you have life insurance on her?
She has it on me, probably. Is that crazy or what? In Africa, where they have the most, sharks. She's doing that.
A
It's on
once
her
in a
bucket
lifetime
list.
opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do on vacation.
We're going to hook
Swim
that
with
up.
sharks?
In
We're gonna
Africa, no less?
I don't want to swim with anything.
We're going to do.
She's going cage
What a
diving, okay.
coincidence!
I don't wanna swim
What a
with Frank.
coincidence! We were doing the same thing down the shore in a couple of weeks with Taylor. I got a 3-sided cage we're going to set up.
What, are you bringing it with you from the house?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you ordering
it's
one for
specially
down there?
modified. No, especially
it's
modified.
called a have a heart crate.
Yes, have a
3 to
heart.
1, you survive. We'll see what happens.
There you go.
I feel
Well,
bad
Paul,
for the shark.
All right, so we're going to take a break. Paul, thanks a lot. We'll catch up with you as we go on.